So the long and short is that if I'm watching is the
manga, light novel, visual novels, spin-offs.
So Akasha, the whole root of the void magic, and it's something about the counter force that prevents them.
But even the short version for an outsider can seem like a convoluted mess of information.
I thought you were going to
give me the short version. This is the short version. So I've always wondered to myself, what is the long version?
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul. Alright, so we're back with another one. So in the last time we watched Trying to Understand the Fate series by Gigguk. So this is like a part 2, which is titled Badly Explaining the Entire Fate series in 30 minutes by the same Gigguk. Alright, so this was also recommended to me to check out the continuation of the last one, and turns out there was an actual continuation. So here it is. Okay, the last one was so freaking hilarious and just totally crazy as hell. Well, let's just see how this one goes. Alright, and please don't forget to like and subscribe button. So without further ado, let's just dive right in and see how well he explains the Fate series continuation, or whether this is another form of explanation. I don't know, but hey, let's see. Alright, so please don't forget to like and subscribe button. So without further ado, let's get into this. So the guy Shumas. Okay, here we go.
The Fate series is one of the most expansive franchises in all of anime. In between all the games, manga, light novel, visual novels, spin-offs, it's probably one of the most daunting franchises for any newbie to try to get into. A little while ago, I made a joke skit called Trying to Understand the Fate franchise.
Yeah, this is one we checked out.
How confusing the entire thing looked for an outsider looking in. And satire aside, it was based on many real-life conversations I've actually had with Fate fans trying to explain the franchise to newcomers. And every time that happens, I always hear, do you want the long version or do you want the short version?
Everyone asks for the
short version, but even the short version for an outsider can seem like a convoluted mess of information.
I'm telling you.
Give me the short version. This is the short version. But ever since I made that video, and because no one ever actually asked for it, I've always wondered to myself, what is the long version?
Okay, this is a long one. Let's see.
The Fate franchise fascinates me. Originally created by Kinoku Nasu, what started as just a single eroge visual novel was turned into a multi-billion-dollar franchise with more media than any sane person can wrap their head around. I mean, just look at all this shit. Can you see how many there is? There's at least 5. So it can be easy to forget how and why people became fans in the first place, that many newcomers may even forget to ask, what is Fate even about? Don't worry.
The question of the day.
The premise revolves around a bunch of mages who can summon heroic spirits from Earth's real history or legends to do battle over the Holy Grail, a mythical wish-granting device in what is called the Holy Grail War. Basically, it's a bunch of mages spending all their V-Bucks to organize the ultimate Fortnite, Apex Legend, fucking Minecraft, Hunger Games, battle royale between
I'm telling you.
history and legend to create the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny. God, I hope my audience isn't too young to understand that reference. And the Holy Grail War is just basically Nasu going,
Oh my.
Let's just cut the video there. That's all you need to know about Fate. However, the background and lore of the entire Fate universe is unimaginably deeper than that. So much so that every single spin-off, anime, manga, novel, every single piece of Fate's media takes place in a coherent universe fitting somewhere on a grand timeline, which is also shared with Nasu's other works, creating this grand universe known only as the Nasuverse. So you know what I thought would be a good idea? What if I tried explaining the entire Fate timeline?
Wow.
We're being thought.
Alright, let's see.
This is a shit idea. Explaining all the Fate lore and timeline in detail would take hours and hours. I mean, just look at some of these wiki pages. This isn't a wiki page, it's
how
a
they bring them all together.
Saber lore. That time some slag at a pond threw a sword at me and I accidentally became the fucking King of England. So this is more like the long, short version. Or is it the short, long version? Or the medium version? It's an excuse to justify all the countless hours I've put into this hellhole. Obviously, there is going to be spoilers, but I'm going to try and keep it focused on the lore and universe and where every series fits in the timeline, rather than what actually happens in any individual series. So, hopefully it won't spoil your experience too much if you decide to walk into hell with us.
Oh,
So, with that
alright,
said,
let's see then.
let's start explaining all of fate.
Whew. Another.
They're now gone. All you have to do is just turn the camera off and delete the file, and no one will ever have to know.
The Fate timeline in a nutshell. The biggest fucking
See that,
nutshell.
Gigguk?
What I mean, I don't read that finish. Let me hit that
Turn the
again.
camera off and delete the file, and no one will ever have to know.
Fate timeline in a nutshell. The biggest fucking nutshell you've ever seen. I am telling you.
You see that, Gigguk? That was Gigguk 3 months ago. I've been putting off filming this for 3 fucking months.
Oh,
Just kill me now.
wow! It took that long to freaking put that all together, man. Editing
Hello,
is
and welcome
no
to my
easy
section.
joke, man.
To be introducing the Fate timeline, I'm going to be cosplaying the most powerful servant in the history of the Fate timeline. Steve Handjobs. But before we get to the Fate timeline, there are a few core concepts we need to bang out first so everything makes sense. Firstly is Akasha. See, Fate exists in this grand world of magic and mages where you can summon heroic beings from the past, present, and
Ooh,
future.
wow, I like this.
And all of this derives from Akasha. What is Akasha? See,
Akasha.
Akasha is this metaphysical place that exists outside of time and dimensions that is the source of all events and all the souls in all timelines. And I like using big words to make me sound smart. Basically, everything that's
The
ever
infinite
happened and
void.
everyone you know, you can thank Akasha for it. 2020 as a whole?
Rather, the someone in the
Thanks,
void.
Akasha. The Chad himself, Chug Jug's Fortnite remix. Thanks, Akasha. The one time in class you thought you had a silent fart, but you ripped out a fat one and everyone heard it and stared at you and your brain still reminds you about it every time you were about to sleep? Fuck you, Akasha. So instead of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff, this is more like wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, goopy galaxy, diddly dimension, rickety reality
What?
stuff. Where every timeline and every reality exists at the same time, meaning there are no spin-offs, every fate is canon, life is a line, yes, that smutty dojin of Minamoto going ada on the order is canon in some timeline. You can't prove me otherwise. Are you with me? Good. This is important because the end goal of every mage in the Fate universe is to find a way to reach the root of Akasha. But Gigguk, why do all mages want to find the root of Akasha? Well, I'm glad you asked, probably confused viewer.
We're getting some
I really hope you're not
good
confused
of
right now. This is
story.
just the beginning. Well, this would be a good time to talk about the magic system that exists in the Nasuverse, because as we all know, in this universe, mages exist and use magecraft, aka magic. Right? Wrong. Incorrect. Erroneous. Mistaken. I can't think of any more words off the top of my head. What are you, an idiot? Why would anyone assume that magic
Not
and
accurate.
magecraft are the same
Yeah, you can add
thing?
that too.
Look at this guy. Typical man that can't tell the difference between magic and magecraft. No. You got magecraft, the weak sauce imitation butter. Ooh, I can't believe it's not magic. And then you got the Chad true magic. This is the top tier gourmet shit. This is the shit real mages want to use. The kind of shit Gordon Ramsay has to taste off and goes, finally,
Some good fucking
magic. But this premium shit can only be achieved by mages who view Akasha. And
Ah,
once someone gets
this is
that
a
magic,
Game
that
of
path to
Thrones
Akasha
background
is
song.
cut off, and then the magic can only be used by the direct descendants of that original mage. Basically, no one has real magic, and they're trying to get to the root of Akasha so they can stop using the peasant dollar store magecraft shit. Oh man, what if the third magic was just the power to create fate porn? But what's stopping all mages from getting to this mythical place called Akasha? Well, you have this thing called the counterforce. This is kind of like a safety mechanism that stops the world from going extinct because the Earth is actually alive and has a will, and don't worry about that right now. And the counterforce itself is made up of 2 parts. The collective unconscious will of humanity itself to survive, Alaya, and the will of the planet itself, Gaia.
Alaya and
Why is
Gaia.
this important? Because the counterforce has powerful defense mechanisms, like being able to summon heroic spirits from Earth's history in order to defend itself, which we call servants.
Okay.
Sound familiar?
I understood that.
Yes.
So it'll intervene anyone trying to get to Akasha, aka the goopy galaxy timey-wimey place, and mages have to find a way around it. Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes,
Good.
we are.
If you're already confused, may I introduce to you the phrase everyone in the Fate fandom holds in the highest esteem as the holiest words in our gospel.
Is?
Don't worry about it. Why is the cast
Okay.
of Fate Night sharing a nice wholesome meal instead of trying to brutally murder each other? Don't worry about it. How do reality bubbles work? Don't worry about it. What is the moon?
Don't worry about it.
No.
So why is it there?
Please don't ask me what the moon is. I'm not gonna fucking talk about the moon!
He's gonna talk about
recap,
it.
You have Akasha, the timey-wimey, goofy galaxy, rickety reality place that every mage is trying to get to so they can use the top-tier gourmet true magic.
Okay.
But the only thing stopping them is the counterforce, which they have to try and find a way around.
Alright.
Did you get all that?
Yes.
This is all the background information.
What? Alaya, the root true of Akasha magic, Akasha magecraft servant Gaia. Okay.
You need to know before we start the timeline. Jesus Christ, we haven't even started the timeline yet. Now, starting right at the beginning, before any mages, before any servants, before any Holy Grail wars, you have the Age of God. So yeah, apparently right at the beginning of Fate lore, there was this period of time where gods roamed the earth with man, mythical creatures existed, and I shit you not, physics apparently just...
I love this song.
Yeah, apparently this thing called
War.
mystery governed the law of the world, which I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Don't worry about it. Like, I just imagine in my head some ancient...
Don't worry about it, man. We're gonna hear a whole lot of that.
And mystery's like, no. We do not do that here. And then the apple just flies off to fucking Narnia. But everything changed when the Sefer Nation attacked. Or just Sefer. This next time period is called Deterioration. This titan called Sefer invaded and destroyed most of the world and was only beaten back by this mighty sword called Excalibur. After the attack, the gods weaken a bit, mystery starts to wane, and physics is like...
I think that was a show back in the day, right?
Does anyone drop that apple? Which takes us to... separation. So the gods are a little pissed that they can't go down to Earth anymore because they're so weak, so they make Gilgamesh, who's two-thirds god. Because gods don't give a shit about maths, apparently, with the intention of making him the keystone to connect the gods and the humans. Now, for anyone not familiar with the Fate verse, how can I explain Gilgamesh? You know that one meme, is this some peasant joke I'm too poor to understand? Well, imagine if that meme was reincarnated as a person. That's Gilgamesh. So yeah, he decides to rebel and the gods were like, no. This guy doesn't want to take orders from us? No, come on, you're joshing us right now. This is a prank. Come on, where are the hidden cameras? I'm on MTV Punk'd, aren't I? And so with that, the gods cannot interfere with humans anymore. And thus begins the Age of Man. From the year 0 AD, the human population explodes, magic and magecraft is replaced with science, and most importantly, physics exists now, guys! Yeah! I went to buy a party popper, but I completely forgot to. This video, please. Thank you. That's right, screw your mystery. I have E equals MC squared. Okay, remember right at the beginning of this video when I said the Fate franchise was about this thing called the Holy Grail? Well, we can finally start talking about the Holy Grail. See, the Grail is touted as this omnipotent, magical, wish-granting device, and that's only partially true. See, around the 1800s, these epic magic gamer girls, called the Einsburns family, figured out a way to the root of Akasha. That place that gives you true epic gamer magic. By using the Holy Grail to summon 7 heroic spirits and then sacrifice them, and using that mana to summon an even greater Grail called the Greater Grail, which has access to the root of Akasha.
Wait. To summon the Greater Grail, which is the Greater Grail.
To summon an even greater Grail called the Greater Grail, which has access to the root of Akasha. But of course, all the various magic gamer girls and boys couldn't agree on who would actually get access to this magic, so they decided to have a meeting to decide. One could even say that it was a magic. The Gathering. Or in Fate, we just call this the Holy Grail War. Which finally leads us to the timelines to all the wars so far. Oh, I can't believe I flunked world history and I'm about to recite the entire history of some fictional war that happened. Okay, so you got like the first Holy Grail War, which happened around the 1800s. This is when the 3 main mage families, the Einsburns, the Toesuckers, and the Matos, couldn't agree on who could get access to the Grail. So they were like, guys, we've got a bunch of servants lying about. Tournament arc. This was hardly what you'd call an actual war though, and more like a 3 AM brawl at the local mage pub, which ended because everyone got bored and time ran out. Then came the second Holy Grail War. In
so they got bored and started sludge festing.
But this time, everyone went a bit fucking mental because everyone died, nobody won, and future generations were like, wait a minute.
Wow.
Do we need rules? What the fuck is a Geneva Convention?
Okay,
then came the
spin-offs.
War in the 1930s, where the church gets involved because they're just like, are you using the term Holy Grail?
So we're gonna get involved.
Allowed to copy strike that, and everyone's happy with that because they can enforce the rules. So the church is like, all right, gamers, I want a fair fight. No going for the eyes, no kicking below the belt, and for God's sakes, no summoning any illegal servants. So then the Ironsburn summon an illegal servant. And so they get this totally new servant called Angramayu, aka the Angry Mango, who's meant to be this super badass, ultra OP new servant that auto wins them the war, except lol, JK is actually super weak and dies. And is literally so angry he gives the Grail food poisoning. Then we got the fourth Holy Grail War, which is basically just the events of Fate Zero. I'm not going to spoil what happens in it. And finally, we have the Grand Sugar Daddy that birthed everything we're talking about. The fifth Holy Grail War, aka the events of Fate Stay
So this is one everybody keeps saying we should start with.
Using the power of friendship and fucking. I mean,
what?
And the CG Dragon still haunts my nightmares.
Let's hear that again.
Holy Grail War, aka the events of Fate Stay Night. Following Shiro fighting in it using the power of friendship and fucking. I mean, mana transfer. And the CG Dragon still haunts my nightmares. What's important here is that this war has at least 3 different timelines because the original Fate Stay Night was a visual novel with 3 different routes. The Fate route, Unlimited Blade Words, and Heaven's Feel. Or, to put it more simply, you got the Saber route, the Best Girl route, and the Sakura route with extra fucking mana transfer. But it doesn't stop there.
Let's hear that again.
Or, to put it more simply, you got the Saber route, the Best Girl route, and the Sakura route with extra fucking, mana transfer.
Mana transfer.
It doesn't stop there, because next we got Fate Hollow Ataraxia, which is kind of like a sequel to Fate Stay Night because it takes place 6 months after the events that happened in there. So you may be wondering which one of the 3 routes it follows, and the answer is...
none.
Yes.
All
so
of
one
them.
of the main girls from Fate Stay Night, Rin, is doing some magic experiments, and she does a little bit of an oopsie, and completely fucks up the space-time continuum, merging all parallel universes together. And I know what you're thinking, this doesn't sound like a little oopsie, this sounds a bit more like a big oopsie. But it's all good because she looks great in thigh highs. So we're following this maid Rosette who was dead off screen in the original Fate Stay Night, and she is now alive along with Angramayu, aka the Angry Mango. And they're stuck in a Groundhog Day type time loop, living the same 4 days over and over, and she has to find a way to escape without fading from existence because she was originally dead, and I guess people die if they don't exist. Since most of this takes place in a time loop, this is basically just Fate Re-Zero Edition. So you can essentially just call it Fate Zero. Wait. And you know what? That's basically everything for the flagship Fate series. Wow. We did it, guys! That was pretty simple.
That was a lot
put
in a very concise way.
Fuck! Of course, we are going
so
to have
much
to
more.
fill this timeline in with all the other Fate media out there. So, let's do time warp again. Oh my god. Alright, so let's start with Fate Apocrypha. So the Fate Apocrypha timeline is exactly identical to the original timeline, except when we get to the Third Holy Grail War, where the timeline was like, you know what? Nazis.
What?
Because of course it's the fucking Nazis. So the Nazis join the Third Holy Grail War, and instead of there being a winner, the Nazis steal the Greater Grail system. And so after that, a Transylvanian Nazi mage guy steals it from the Nazis again, and then I guess the Nazis go on to lose World War II as usual. Fast forward to the future, and somehow the entire world finds out about the Greater Grail system, and everyone and their dog tries to make a cheap imitation of it. And so because of this, the Transylvanian Nazi sorcerer guy vows to make the Holy Grail War great again. And so he makes the Great Holy Grail War.
Wow, okay, so that's Fate Apocrypha.
It's called. Okay. And so now instead of 7 servants, you have 14 servants separated into 2 teams, red and black. That's right, it's a team deathmatch.
Team deathmatch! Team deathmatch!
All of them always saying that.
And so we get a season of red versus black, Mordred is hot, and a stealth will make straight guys question their sexuality, and gay guys question their sexuality, and gay girls question their sexuality. And me question my life choices for spending $400 for a dick. That concludes the events of Hitler's Day Night. Next on the menu, we have today's menu for Emiya family. Did you see what I did there? This is, I think, just another alternate ending to the 5th Holy Grail War, where I guess nobody dies and they all just sit around cooking and playing volleyball and being happy, and this is canon, okay? Wow. They never explain where this takes place on the timeline, but I don't care. They're all happy.
And they're just chilling.
Made it. It's canon. Like in my mind, this is the reality when someone just tried playing the Fate visual novel, but got bored 5 minutes after reading words and then just left. And never came back. And then all these characters are just sitting around having a gay old time waiting for the Holy Grail War to start. This is what happened. This is the reality where CDog VA tried to play Fate. Alright, so I'm just gonna make a Fate Stay Night bubble, and then I'm gonna put Fate Tiger Coliseum and Fake Unlimited codes in this bubble, because they're just fighting games and they're already beating the shit out of each other in the series anyway, so I guess these are just the filler episodes we never got to see. Then we got Fate School Life, which is kind of like a slice of life spin-off in the Fate Stay Night universe that also has Ataraxia characters in it. So I guess it goes here. Can you tell how I'm sure I am right now?
So after Ataraxia.
This is basically just CSI magic that takes place after Fate
Lord
Zero.
Elmaloy's Case Files, okay.
Starring Fate Zero's Wait, tell how I'm sure I am right now? Lord Elmaloy's Case Files. This is basically just CSI magic that takes place after Fate Zero but before Fate Stay Night, starring Fate Zero's Waiver. Except Waiver's gone from Daddy Step on Me to Step on Me, Daddy.
Why is the glow up?
Now we get into the manly shit. Fate DJ Khaled, line of Prisma Ilya, is a spin-off where Ilya becomes a magical girl. And instead of summoning servants, the magical girls can use these magical cards to channel the power of a servant.
Okay.
And also there's a magical talkie wand, don't worry about it. Before I properly got into the Fate franchise, I thought that this was just an unrelated spin-off that had nothing to do with the main universe, but no. Not only does this directly diverge from the main timeline, but it has two separate universes within its own universe.
Wow.
It's a fucking Ilya multiverse. And the beginning of the Ilya multiverse doesn't even have Ilya in it! Oh god, I love you so much, Fate, but you just don't make things easy, do you? Alright, I'm gonna try and do my best, so stick with me here. The first universe is the one detailed in the movie Oath Under Snow, following this girl called Miyu, which is why we call this the Miyu-verse, because her name is Miyu and she's the child of God, don't worry about it. She's taken in by Shiro, and then they have another Holy Grail War, but not the usual Holy Grail War, but the Ainsworth Holy Grail War. Can you guess why it's called the Ainsworth Holy Grail War?
Why?
Because it was made by the Ainsworth. Shiro then sends Miyu to an alternate universe, which we call the Ilya-verse, which is all sunshine and rainbows, where the fourth Holy Grail War didn't happen and Kiritsugu's Father of the Year. You got cute girls doing cute things, cute girls doing magical things, and cute girls doing each other. This is the universe where season 1 and 2 of Prisma Ilya happens, but then you have season 3, which jumps back into the Miyu-verse. And if you think that complicates the timeline, how about this little knowledge of nugget? So, in the original Fate Stay Night, Ilya is 18. She's 18. She's older than Shiro. But in the Ilya-verse, she's the same age as when the timelines diverge, which theoretically should make her the same age as she was in Fate Stay Night.
What?
But she's not. And the series makes it very clear that she is under 18. So which is it, Fate? Which is she an adult or is she not? I need to know. You know, I would say don't worry about it.
Well, we gotta worry about it.
But I'm pretty sure the FBI are gonna do that for me. Alright, moving the fuck on from this mess of a legal situation. You got Fate, also known as the Fate Extra universe. This splits off from the Third Holy Grail War in the Angry Mango timeline, where all the world's mana dries up because some kind of event. So in the 20th, also known as the Fate Extra universe. This splits off from the Third Holy Grail War in the Angry Mango timeline, where all the world's mana dries up because some kind of event. So in the 20th,
don't worry about it, but so many don't worry about it.
They tried to hack the moon because the moon has a supercomputer on it that was placed there by aliens that they found. And so inside this supercomputer moon, there exists this entire digital world. And so the supercomputer moon is hosting a virtual reality Holy Grail War because it's actually alive.
What?
I don't realize how ridiculous this sounds until I read it out loud. Don't worry about it!
Okay, we won't.
Out the moon, no shit, and you can hack the moon. And it also has Rin, Sakura, and Kirei from the original Fate Stay Night, but not the original Rin, Sakura, and Kirei from the original Fate Stay Night. What are you, stupid? They're just characters who look, sound, and dress exactly the same, but they're different.
But
are you worrying
now.
about it? Because I'm not. So you got the Fate Extra games, the Fate Extra Triple C games, and then you got the anime. Fate Extra Last Encore in its own separate timeline that takes place in the year 3000. And Rin's great-great-great-granddaughter. It's just fucking Rin. Fate Grand Order. Oh god, you're not gonna make me break down Fate Grand Order. Alright. Now we're truly in hell. So Fate Go is a mobile gacha game along with some anime adaptations where the first Holy Grail War never happens, the world is fucked for some reason, and you have got to travel back in time to various points in history to fix the fucking timeline.
Okay.
And every different timeline you fix
the plot
is called
there.
singularities. Basically, imagine Fate Back to the Future, except there are like 7 sequels, all with different diverging timelines, and you're not trying to fuck your mum, you're just trying to fuck all the servants. Alright, so for simplicity's sake, I think it would just be easier if I just draw out the Fate Go timeline.
Okay.
And then here in its own corner is just Fate Prototype, which is Kinoko Nasu's original concept for Fate, where King Arthur's actually a guy? Get out of here with your
finally a guy, not a lady now.
So essentially this is just a non-existent project because the only thing that exists is a 12-minute trailer that was made purely for fan service. Which is even more bizarre.
No wonder I didn't see any opening about Fate Prototype.
Sky Silver, which is the prequel to Fate Prototype. They made a prequel, a full light novel prequel, to a 12-minute commercial.
Wow.
Like, do they really think Fate fans are that hungry for content? A Type Moon just sitting there being like, alright Fate fans, open wide. Content. Give me anything. And then this prequel to a project that basically doesn't even exist has a side story called Fate Labyrinth. A side story!
To a 12 minutes commercial.
He-Man fans
No,
want
that's
Suicide
insane.
Watch. You can tell that line was written months ago because, yeah, where the fuck did this come from? And all this would be a completely alternate universe with no connection to the original universe, but I shit you not, one of the characters has a dream that connects this universe to the Fate Stay Night universe.
Wow.
Yep. It's literally canon by dream. Alright, I think we're getting close to the end. Next is Fate Strange Fake. This is a light novel series that takes place after the 5th Holy Grail War in
Strange
America,
Fake.
where they do their own Holy Grail War with hookers and blackjack, written by the same guy who did Bakano. As a recording, we don't know if this follows on from the main flagship timeline or is part of an alternate universe, but what we do know is that there's a servant called Watcher and it's literally just a fucking whale in the sky. I'm sorry, I must have missed the legend where a
this
fucking
thing
flying
is
whale
really
saved
scattered as hell.
Free
Jeez.
Willy count as a legendary hero of history now. There's Fate Type Redline. It's Tokyo in the 1940s.
Fate
Nazis
Type
are at it again,
Redline.
but this time so are the Japanese military. It's the third Grail War with seemingly no other connections to any of the Grails, and it's a manga drawn by the Demon Slayer mangaka. We got Fate Requiem. Not a lot about this is known right now because it's not been officially translated, but what we do know is that it's set in the future after some kind of Holy Grail War, and somehow everyone has their
When
own
the Holy Grail War is
And
a
also
premise
there's
to every other
Voyager,
diverging and
like
divergence that they just
Space
keep
Probe,
doing
except
more
I have
spin-off
no
and
fucking
spin-offs.
clue how a space probe becomes
I mean, they can
a
literally just create
servant,
anything
let
and just
alone
say
one
it's an
show to
offshoot
boy,
from
let alone a
the
blonde
Fate.
show to boy space probe
I mean, the Holy
servant.
Grail
And
War
don't tell me
or
to
whatever.
worry about it, because I'm not. Can you see how much I'm not worrying about it? I am not worrying about it. But seriously, how the fuck? And finally, in a bubble within its own fucking dimension,
Wasn't there?
is Carnival Phantasm. Where all the Fate characters and other characters
Come and chill out and dance.
are just hanging out, I guess. Doesn't make any sense. I have
Thanks for
no
that
idea where
opening.
this fits on the timeline. I think this is just a bubble reality where Akasha got fucking drunk. And that's it.
Wow.
That
Wow.
is the
Jeez,
long
just
way.
look at this.
Kinda. Oh, but Gigguk, what about the rest of the Nazi verse? You gonna do that as well?
No. You wanna have a brain freaking meltdown.
How about no? Originally, this was meant to be a grand video where it talks about all the funny and ridiculous things I found out about Fate lore as a whole. But when I started it, I kind of realized I'm gonna need 20 minutes just to explain the fucking timeline. So you know what? This may just be the first part in a multi-series lecture from hell. Because the worst thing
I'm
about
telling
it
you.
is that after going through all the timelines, after connecting all the lore, after spending far too many hours consuming Fate media and reading pages upon pages of wiki articles, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, to some
God,
extent.
This chart actually makes sense to me. The entire timeline is actually the simplest part of Fate lore. Fate is just an all-encompassing hole that just gets darker and gloomier the deeper you go down. People wonder what's at the bottom of the abyss in Made in Abyss. It's just the fucking entrance to the Fate hole. You want the real short version Fate newcomers? You watch either of these two, and then watch this,
Okay.
and then watch whatever the fuck you want. Or you know what? Fuck all this. Start with the spin-off series. Start with lesbian lollies kissing. Start with Fate MasterChef. Fuck. Start with the doujinshis for all I care. Just ignore all the shitstorm going on in the comment section right now. The reality is, it doesn't really matter where you start. As long as it looks interesting to you, then go for it. The problem is there's so many people who are obsessed with optimizing the perfect read and watch order that they forget
Then why don't they just merge everything at once and release and not that Fate?
Who the fuck cares what order you watch it in? Because look, memes aside, the Fate lore may be a convoluted mess to unravel, but it is an awesome franchise. It's a series that can have amazing fights with balls-to-the-walls action and magical moments that cut deep into your heart. And then Thomas Edison shows up as a lion. Because if you've reached the end of this video knowing nothing about Fate, and this is the video that's convinced you to give it a try, what the fuck is wrong with you? This got you interested in Fate? Oh god, why didn't you just listen to me the first time and go with the short version? You know what? Fuck this. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not doing Fate anymore. I'm literally gonna go crazy. You know what? I lied. This isn't even the long version.
What? Yeah.
Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed
really
that
tried,
video.
Ben.
Thank you again.
Do know that, but
for
that's so freaking complicated.
And also, thank you very much to
No, thank you, man.
the Walto, Payne Patchett, Elafor, Basil, and everyone else, my Patreon, for supporting me for this month. But
I couldn't even talk about throughout the video. I had to even listen. I was trying to really connect everything as she was explaining.
This hell, that is the Fate hole. Honestly, you couldn't have done it without you two, so thank you very much. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if anything in this video is inaccurate or wrong, you can blame an entire Discord server for it. Something's still probably wrong though. But yeah, as I said earlier, this probably won't be the only Fate video I put out because we've done way more research than what I've put into this video. So I hope you're excited for the next one because both me and my editor are really looking forward to working on another video like this. Right, Alan?
Nope.
That Alan. Such a joker. Anyway, that's it from me. No further updates. I've been Gigguk, and
See you
I
the
hope
next
you
one.
enjoy the hell we're about to walk into.
Gosh, man, no, that was a lot, like a freaking lot, and he managed to put all that like in this concise form, and I give it up to Gigguk. I don't imagine myself doing this, like so freaking much info. Anyway, long and short is that so those mages gathered to have a conversation about reaching the root of Akasha, which is that super void universe place of, you know, getting all that magic or whatever power also. So they had a falling out, and then everything kick-started, the whole Holy Grail War and whatnot, and that is just the whole crux of most of all the spin-off, if not all rather, the spin-offs that have been happening, although there are other chilled, you know, spin-offs here and there, like that of Cannibal Phantasm, and he says it's canon. Like, what the hell? I mean, all of them just chilling, hanging out, eating and whatnot, like, it's freaking insane. But anyway, I really loved the whole concise, detailed explanation, though. It still felt like a mindfuckery, but it actually really made sense, like he just said, alright, and I'm freaking just amazed, like I was just so freaking paying so much close attention that I couldn't even really talk much. I just didn't want to interrupt the whole flow and wanted to just suck in as much as I could from all his explanation, though. So Akasha, the whole root of the void magic, and they said something about the counter force that prevents them from reaching Akasha and whatnot. And so they had the first Holy Grail War, which was the falling out of trying to decide who would tap into Akasha first or so. Then second one, the same thing. They had their whole grand battle royale and whatnot, and all of them died. The third one, the church came and whatnot, and you know, tried to get involved and regulated how they're going to fight and what to summon and what not to summon. At least this is all I could get from it and whatnot. And so on, there came so many freaking spin-off, and gosh, it just really got crazy from there though. Man, so the long and short is that if I'm watching is the Fate Stay Night 2006, Fate Zero, and Fate Unlimited Blade Works, then the other ones can just be watch if you want, or better still, you are better off just leaving them alone. Okay, so at least that's all I got. So what do you guys think of this? Man, it was truly really lovely. I was not expecting this detailed explanation in this short amount of time, given that Fate is a crazy cluster of disjointed, a whole lot of diverging storylines and whatnot, like that can just cause you to spiral into total confusion. But hey, this was really well done. So tell me what you thought of this video. Alright, and for all of you commenting, I've read every single comment that you dropped on my videos. Okay, so I've gotten all of you. So you said the Fates, the Night First, 0 second, unlimited blade works stored, and someone said something about Heaven's Field. So I've gotten all that. Alright. Anyway, that was that for this. Thanks for watching, and I hope you loved it, because I truly loved it. Alright, I was just totally immersed in all this, and it was really lovely. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe button. So I'll catch you later. Cheers.